Good morning, Memlina. May I ask for your time for a moment? Introducing my name is Nathanael Aurik Aventius Purta Hermawan from 12 IPA 3 absent 27. On this occasion, I would like to share my experience while I'm watching a movie and titled They Shall Not Grow Old. This weekend, I watched a movie called They Shall Not Grow Old by Peter Jackson. This movie is a documentary about the real experience of British Army veteran in First World War, which lasts from 1914 to 1918. The movie contains the interview from real veteran and original footage shot on the battlefield. At the first one, there's a veteran set. There's a football competition, and there were many people from various background and country. One of which was England and Germany. And in the middle of the break, someone ran and shouted that England have declared war with Germany. They were shocked and confused. What should they do? And then finally discuss and agree to continue the match because the war will start the next day. One of the veterans said he realized, everybody in this room realized that maybe one day they would meet again, but not for rest, but to kill each other on the battlefield. Then the registration was open for the volunteer who are willing to defend their country on the battlefield. Almost all young people in England are excited and happy to participate in the war. One of the veterans said, "I've never been this excited in my life. Feels like a chill want to going to play." Some lie regarding their age at the registration because most of them are still under 19 years old. They feel maybe the war is something exciting and fun. There are young people who are still curious and bored with their life, and as a citizen, they are doing their duty to protect their country. Then after the registering, they are realized they were just an ordinary people with no combat experience. They were just a civilian who are enthusiastic about trying new things. One veteran said, "I'm shocked that we are just a bunch of civilians who don't understand anything. Even some of us work in office like an accountant and our body are very unprepared for war." They were trained for 6 weeks and were never told when and where they will be placed. England at that time is very confident that they could beat Germany easily, so sometimes they practice marching for the parade more than shooting, which in the end was a big mistake because in reality England needs 5 years to beat Germany and it took a lot of sacrifices. After 6 weeks of training, they were finally sent to France. They were excited and can't wait to serve on the front line. When they arrived in France, they only saw the destruction of abandoned towns and villages. They also met the soldiers who fought in wars. One of veterans said, "We see no smile and joy on the face," and they thought, "Where's the fun in that?" And they hope the war isn't over because they were not there yet. In the First World War, battle took place in trenches throughout Europe. When they arrived, they were immediately placed in front of trenches, and what separated them from the German trench was a no man's land. No man's land is a very terrible place. They said all you can see are the corpses of your friend, foes, blast holes, and barbed wire. The distance between the trench is between 300 until 500 meters, so the sniper can still kill them. One day, I was talking to a man, and boom, his head was punctured by a shot from a sniper. The man just in the wrong place at the wrong time, said one of veteran. They were in charge of guarding the trench, and every morning they would make sure their closest friends are still alive. Their job in the front line is guard, some will work, and the other will sleep or rest and on the ground because they don't have any bed. Most of them are tired and don't rest. Some veteran even say, "If you are on guard and tired, sleep standing." I don't think it's a comfortable position to sleep, and how they can fall asleep like that. And they were forbidden to make a fire at night or even in the cold weather because if the Germans saw the light or the fire, they would bombard the place with a cannon. They also told about the several soldiers who got dysentery because they drank water from the puddle and in which there is a corpse in there. The situation in the trench was terrible. The sound of gunfire and explosion was endless day and night. They say you will never hear the sound of cannon exploding near you until it explodes, because they go so fast and faster than the sound of the explosion itself. So you don't know if you are being hit by a bomb. They say something bomb explodes 50 meters from your place, but the shrapnel can shoot at you and kill you. The German strategy is also terrible. They will dig the ground until they are under your trench and will explode it from the below. They also say on the front line there's a sense coming from the corpse of soldier, the threats and horse. They say it's become a very common sight when you are at war. Poisonous gas was also used during the war and caused a blindness, asphyxiation and even death. In this part, the producer Peter Jackson presents the footage from the real front line, and what's on the tape is exactly what the veterans told. And here up here I have started to feel how the terrible and brutal the war is. When the weather got worse, the ditches were flooded with the water. They could separate their shoes from their feet because it was freezing on their feet. Some of them had to lose their feet due to amputation. When it rained, the ground became a mud and sometimes it can be very deep. They say the child is in the middle of the sea of the mud and he's drowning. And we can do anything because if you help him, you will drown too. But sometimes they can go to the several real lines. They rest, laugh, play, clean up and exercise, and forget a little things about the horror of war from the front. But sometimes if they are unlucky, they can still be hit by a bombardment from the enemy cannon or enemy planes. On the eve of their attack, no one gets rest because of the continuous sound of gunfire and cannon from the morning to night from the both sides, and at the midnight suddenly a man started crying, and the sergeant said, "Find the man and shoot him." For him, the man who crying is more dangerous than German soldier because it can affect other soldiers. When the morning and the attack was about to start, they were all given wine and told to be ready. Some of them will attack in the first wave and the others will attack in the second wave. Then a sergeant behind them said, "All men who retreat will be shot." And at the time of the attack start, the sergeant blowing the whistle and telling everyone to get up the trench and attack. And some of them get shot when they are just climbing the trench. They run into the German trench for 300 meters through no man's land with no place to cover. They said, "We are running right into the enemy guns." The German machine gun wait for the British troops to get close enough so they could see them clearly and start shooting at the British with their machine gun. One of the veterans said, "It was the battle, it's massacre. Some of people beside me just fell down. You can feel anything but this sound of continuous barrage of bullets." A veteran didn't even feel himself being shot till the end of the battle, and some just saw the blood gushing out from his body but feel nothing. They say your only protector is the man in front of you, one of them said. In the end, the first wave of attack was failed. No one of them made it to the German trench. They were only wounded or dead in no man's land. Then the soldiers who attacked during the second wave had to walk over their wounded or dead friends. By the time, more than 2,000 British soldiers died before reaching the German trench. Sometimes their own cannons also hit them. One of the veterans said all I heard was screams and gunshot, and another veteran said I saw a British soldier. His body was cratered, but he was still alive and crying while calling his mother. Then I took my rifle and killed him. It hurt me, he said tearfully. When I saw this scene, I felt like they were very depressed. They were forced to run toward the enemy without any cover, or they could retreat, but they will be killed by their own sergeant. Even when they are halfway to dodge the enemy bullet, their cannon sometimes hit some of them. I feel this is very unfair because they are fighting to defend their country, and they should be treated well. If you can protect your people when they are attacked, at least don't shoot them when they are retreat. And the survivor from the first wave took cover in the blast hole to save themselves. They could only advance into the German trench when the German machine gun were reloading. There was a very brutal battle in the German trench. A German soldier came out and broke a flamethrower. Then a veteran said, "I saw 23 more people burn that day." Then some German soldiers started to surrender and the veteran said, "During the fight, human nature looks more like a killing animal than a far from a civilized human being." After taking a German trench, they heard the moans and cry of the wounded British and German soldier. I heard the sound of moaning and crying for some times. Then finally there was a silence. Said the veteran, the situation got more even terrible when the medic tried to help the injured soldier. But the number of victims from the both sides impossible to help all of them. Some were able to walk along to the medical post, but the other had to be carried with stretcher. You have to make sure he's alive or dead. If he's still breathing, you have to move him immediately because otherwise his body will be swallowed up by the mud and soil. Said the veteran who was in charge of carrying a stretcher. Medical equipment that is not very modern also does not increase the chance that someone who injures will be survive. They felt horror and enjoy at the same time because they had seen the wild side of the humans and the true meaning of the war. But they were also happy they had made through the battle. There's only 100 of us who came back out of the 600 people. They said, "My imagination of the story of the romantic and the fun war was disappeared after I went through the battle that day. But I continued because it was my job. It showed how professional they are." Then when they saw the German prisoner, they saw the face of German soldiers, just like them. The German soldiers were 17 to 19 years old, just like them. Then they were chatting, laughing, and telling the story. And then we realized the German soldier was not bad as depicted. Basically, the German and the British soldier have a common. They are just young people who do their duty for their country. Some of them even exchange goods and home address so they can visit each other after war is over. And they start to ask a question how about the useless war and how it could be happen. But the war is continuing and they were sent back to the front line to fight. After several years of fighting, the many German soldiers are surrender and withdraw. Honestly, the Germans knew they had lost the war and were fed up with it all. They didn't care who the war was won by whom it ended, said a veteran. Then there's a rumor that the war will be November 11 at 11 p.m. Then on the November 11 at the 11 p.m. all the sound of cannons, gunfire, explosions stopped all across the Europe, and that's how the terrible war ended. One veteran said there wasn't cheering or plotting for us at that time. We are just tired and want some rest. Some of them said we are sad because they didn't know what to do. They have been silver for years. After more than 4 years of war, finally they all went home. When they arrived in England, they were warmly greeted with food and went straight to Victoria by train. When they got there, they went to the barrack, were given a cloth and changed clothes, and then they come out back as a civilian. The most annoying thing is when they're trying to find work, but there is difficult and unwanted. There are thousands of war veterans who become unemployment in just a few hours. They're unwanted because they don't have any required skill, because they only know how to fight in war, and no help for veteran or other awards. Life after war is not always good. They still can't forget what happened to them during the war. Some veterans were hit by a shell shock, namely a trauma caused by war. They lose their control of their body and are hysterical and afraid when they hear a lot of noise. Shell shock is very common disease found in war victims and difficult to cure. People are also not interested in war and consider the war is something normal. A veteran say, "You can sit with another veteran and talk about the war, but for the civilian, it's just a waste of time." Then they know we have come back from the war, but they don't know the tension of the sitting in the trench before the attacking, and they don't realize the real horror of the war. Even veterans still don't find the truth of the war, and they think all must be done to avoid the war course. And the movie is over. After I watched the documentary, I felt very emotional. Maybe this is one of the best documentary I've ever watched, because in this movie it's explained in detail from the point of the view of the soldier on duty. What they feel in the middle of the battle, how much pressure they feel before attacking, how they survive in the middle of the war, and how they face their fear and stay positive. What I admire about them is they didn't run from the battle. They didn't surrender to the German or protest against the sergeant. They kept fighting even though the sergeant will think twice about shooting them if they have a mistake. What I learned from this movie is the violence doesn't solve anything. War is not the solution to every problem, because at the end of the war it's not just winning and losing, but behind it all there's a total destruction, sadness for many parties, and thousands of deaths of innocent people. That's all the monologue text from me. I want to thank you for the time that has been given, and thank you for your attention.